Hey. Time for the Out of This World story from rSpace. Do married couples even send raunchy photos to each other anymore? Or has that ship sailed into the abyss of, I guess we just text emojis now? It feels like these days sending a naked pic is either reserved for keeping cheaters spicy or building an airtight case against yourself if you ever get caught. Today on rSpace, so what does that eggplant emoji mean again? I walked in on my wife video calling her affair partner. I scared her senseless and then kicked her to the curb. I, 29 male, have been married to my wife, Haley, 29 female, for just 3 years. We've been barely married in the grand scheme of things, but I've already seen that things are going to have to end. It is really hard for me to express how this makes me feel because I'm still processing a lot of it. A lot of the things that I'm going to narrate happened a few days ago, and I don't even think that's enough for me to get over this degree of heartbreak. This is someone who I plan to spend my entire life with. I wanted to build a family with her, but all I got was a cheater. Someone who I can't even spend half a decade with. I don't deserve this. My wife works as a manager in a retail store that has a chain in our city. She gets back pretty late on some days, which makes sense since that store closes late. When she gets back, the first thing that she does is hit the shower. Sometimes she takes quite a bit in there, but it has never been something that concerns me because I get the need to sometimes have a warm shower or bath and just decompress. It's kind of like a meditative thing for her. So a lot of the time, I leave her to do her thing in there. I'm not explicitly forbidden from walking in on her, it's just something that I personally chose not to do, so that she can have a little bit of alone time in there. There was a day when I was downstairs watching TV and she had just gotten back from a long shift. She went straight upstairs, as she usually does, and let her have her time to clean up and refresh. However, I don't know if it was what I was watching on TV or if it was in real life, but I thought that I had heard a loud sound, like a thud. Obviously, I knew that she was in the bathroom, and naturally I was very concerned because I thought that she might have fallen. I called out her name, but I didn't hear anything. So I went upstairs, and as I did, I kept calling her name, hoping to hear her response. I didn't get anything. When I got to the door, I didn't bother knocking or anything because I thought she was hurt and nothing was stopping me from entering. So I opened the door right away and rushed in. Normally, what I saw might not have been an issue. She was sitting on the toilet completely naked, with her AirPods in. When I walked in, she was holding her phone at arm's length, but as soon as I appeared, she was frightened and she recoiled. In the process, she dropped her phone. I was concerned, so the first thing I did was tell her that I had been calling her name, that I thought she had slipped and fallen since I heard a sound. I reached to help her pick up her phone, and I saw her rush for it before me, but I was quicker. I picked it up and handed it to her, but in the very brief time that I had, I saw that she was on FaceTime with Nathan. Immediately, she disconnected from the call. I'm sure she was looking for me to indicate how much I knew. She couldn't apologize or defend herself right away, so she was in this very awkward state where she was barely acting human. I repeated what I had said to her earlier, that I wanted to know if she was okay because I heard a thud. She said that she was fine, and it must have been from the TV. I asked her what she was up to. She said she was using the toilet before going to shower. That was odd because she had been home for over 30 minutes at that point, and she wasn't the kind of person to sit on the toilet for longer than necessary. That was when I asked her what she had been up to with her phone. She said she was taking pictures of herself, claiming that she had wanted to send them to me. I knew she was lying. I just had a strong feeling of it. So I asked to see the pictures, but she claimed that she was taking the first of the bunch when I walked in, so there was nothing to see. At that point, I started playing around with her, so I told her that I saw that she was on a video call with someone. I asked who it was. She told me that I must have mistaken what I had seen because she was in her camera, not on a call. I told her I was sure of what I had seen. Maybe when I dropped the phone, I switched to another app or something. That was the defense she decided to take, and it was annoying, because she was fighting to escape the situation she had put herself in when it was clear that we both knew what the truth was. I asked her if I checked her phone, I wouldn't see a recent FaceTime with a guy called Nathan. I saw her face go white in front of me, because that was the confirmation she needed to know that I wasn't mistaken about anything. She started to stutter. I'm not sure exactly what she was trying to say, so I interrupted her and asked her what the reason she would have for being on a video call with another man while she was naked. She claimed that he couldn't see anything. I told her that I literally saw her with her arm out so that he'd be able to see everything. I told her that she needed to stop lying to me. Very weakly, she told me that she wasn't lying and I had to just believe her. At that point, I started to get really angry. I'm not the kind of guy with anger issues or anything like that, but man, I think that learning that your wife is cheating on you and having her deny it right there is enough to make anyone rage out. I told her that I was giving her one last chance to admit everything, or I was about to lose my mind. She didn't say anything for a bit, so I imagined she was weighing her options. However, in the end, she decided to claim that it wasn't what it looked like. I told her to hand me their phone if that was the case, and I'd find out for myself. When she refused to hand the phone over, that was when I decided to let my anger out. I grabbed a little ceramic ornament that I had for decoration in our bathroom, and I chucked it at a mirror. I'm not proud of it. It was heavily impulsive, but I can't say that I actually regret it. I'm typically the kind of person who can keep my calm, no matter how enraged I get, but in that moment, I didn't see the point in holding it back in. She was frightened. I kicked the door until I broke a hole through it. I ripped the shower rod out of the wall. I acted like someone having a tantrum. Seeing how scared she was only made it easier for me to keep going. I did a lot of damage, but I didn't mind. I've never seen her as scared as that before. She was basically shrunk into the corner, shaking. She couldn't move from there. I'm sure she wanted to try and bolt for the door, but it was the smart decision not to test me. After I got it all out of my system, I turned to her. I'm sure she thought that I was going to hit her, but that was never going to be an option. As much as I was acting like a monster, it's not going to change a rule that I've lived my whole life by. But I was ready to scare her. I was going to scare the truth out of her. I told her that I was going to give her one last chance to tell me the truth, and I didn't even need to really press her before she started singing. She told me that she was really sorry. She said that she had made a massive mistake and she was sorry. She told me that she had cheated on me and she regretted it. I told her to explain the entire thing to me and not leave anything out. I told her that she only had one chance to tell me the truth. I let us both get out of the bathroom, which at that point was a mess. I was starting to get ashamed of the mess I had made, so even I didn't want to be in there any longer. When we got to our bedroom, she told me how the entire thing had gone down. She had been at work when one of the shoppers walked up to her. He was clearly trying to get to know her better, despite the fact that she had a ring on. She admitted that she had told him that she was married a few times, but he was persistent, and he kept trying, so ultimately, she just gave him her number so that he'd leave her alone. Her intention was to block him as soon as he texted or called, but she admitted that he had some charm to him, and he claimed that he wasn't trying to get in her pants, so she let their conversations happen. Clearly, the guy played her like a fiddle because he went on acting all platonic and making her laugh, before he started to flirt heavily. At that point, she already liked him, and he had very little left to do to sleep with her. He said he wanted to take her out for coffee after her shift, which she obliged, and she admitted that they kissed in his car. She tried to stop things there, but on some day when we had a fight and he showed up at her workplace, she followed him home, and that's when things happened. She said that it wasn't as if she didn't know that what she was doing was wrong, but the problem was that she found it exciting. She said it made her feel desirable, especially because the guy was about 5 years younger. She had planned to stop it, but she let it go on for too long until the point when I caught her. I asked her how many times they had slept together, and she hesitated to speak. I asked again, and she said that she couldn't count, but it was less than 20. I nearly lost my mind on hearing that because I had certainly slept with her several times since she started sleeping with him. I pointed that out to her, and the only thing she could say was that she was sorry. I asked her if it had been all worth it. She shook her head, crying. I agreed with her that it hadn't been worth it. We were only 3 years into our life together, and she couldn't keep herself from serving her body up to someone else in that time. I let her know that there was absolutely no chance that she'd remain faithful in 10, 20, or 40 years. She was crying and telling me that she could, but I just shook my head at her because it was obvious that she wouldn't be able to. I let her know that I had said everything I wanted to say to her. I made it very clear that there was no outcome for the two of us anymore, besides divorce. She looked like I broke her heart when I said that, but she had broken mine some minutes before, so you can't blame me if I wasn't very sympathetic. I told her that it was time for her to pack her things and leave the house. Her response to that was, "What?" as if she couldn't believe what I was saying. I told her that there was no way she was going to keep living in the house after what she had done. For some reason, she was speechless. Her mouth was open as if she was looking for something to say, but she couldn't find it. I spelled it out for her. I explained that she must have thought I was a fool if I was going to allow a woman who was cheating on me to keep living in the same house as me. I would be extremely irritated waking up to see her in the same house as me, and I couldn't promise how I'd react if I had to do that for weeks or months on end. I made it clear to her that she had more than enough friends and family in the city to go and crash with. When she got there, it was up to her to tell the truth or not, but that was on her, not on me. She told me that I couldn't kick her out. I laughed and told her to try me. I'm sure the image of me going berserk was stuck in her head, and she just sat there looking at me with a plain look on her face. I wasn't going to coddle her. I went upstairs to our bedroom, grabbed one of her suitcases, and started throwing her things into it. I had pretty much packed it to the brim before she came in. When she saw me, she started to cry even more, because that was the point of no return. She realized that there truly wasn't any walking back from my decision. She didn't even bother to repack the suitcase I had packed. She just took a second one and started packing her things into it. She didn't say a word. Once her suitcases were packed, I carried them downstairs, tossed them into the trunk of her car, and walked back into the house without another word. The next day, I called in sick from work and cleaned up the bathroom. I fixed the things that I could fix on my own and called professionals to do the rest. I also changed the locks on the doors because as far as I was concerned, she had no right to be in that house any longer. I'm sure the law will beg to differ, but I couldn't give a crap about the law at that moment. I'm still so lost mentally, because how am I supposed to come to terms with the stability I thought I had falling apart? I hope I can figure it out soon, but right now, I just felt like writing all of this would help provide just a little bit of clarity. Update. I know that it has taken quite a long while, but I'm finally here with an update to my last post. I talked about how I discovered my wife was cheating on me when I walked in on her having a video call with her affair partner. She was naked. She tried gaslighting me. I lost my head and broke a bunch of stuff in the bathroom, and then I finally got her to admit to her affair because she was scared of me. I kicked her out of the house after that. I found out in the end that she had gone to live with her sister, who was about a 1-hour drive from where we lived. She was commuting to work, which didn't sound fun, but I didn't care that much. I just needed to know where she was going to be at certain times of the day because I needed the process server to know. As soon as I had it confirmed, I had her served with divorce papers. It happened when she was at work, and I know that it was embarrassing because she was on the store floor when it happened, so customers and coworkers saw it. She called me after, saying that it was unnecessary. She tried to play it cool, but I could tell how much it had upset her. She sounded like she had been crying. I didn't have much to say to her, because I had to have the papers delivered to her one way or the other. We essentially didn't say a word to one another until it was time for us to go and settle the divorce. I tried to reach an agreement with her because I had no desire to get into the messy court phase of things, but she had grown resentful of me, and she didn't want to agree to any of my terms, which were very reasonable. In the end, we decided to take everything to court. Sadly, because of how things went down, I never had actual evidence of her affair. Thankfully for me, she didn't have evidence of the destruction that I had caused, so both of us had claims that couldn't be proven. In the end, the court chose to split things evenly. We were paying our mortgage on the house since we chose to get started on getting our own place quickly. She was given the house, which, to be honest, I didn't really mind. The mortgage was best for 2 incomes, not one, and I wasn't attached to the house to an unreasonable extent, so it could go. Plus, it wasn't bad having it refinanced and having half of its value hit my account. I felt like I won in that regard, though she also felt like she won. I'm paying a very minimal alimony because of the short duration of our marriage. So that's just another thing that I won't really complain about. She'll get her little payday from me, and after that, it's all up to her to figure out her life. I don't care how she chooses to do it. I gave her an unsolicited piece of information when I told her that she would be best off selling the house and getting a smaller place. But she told me that she didn't care what I had to say about her life, so I left her to that. About a month later, she came to me. She said that she was putting her pride aside, but that she needed help. I asked her with what, and she said that she just needed me to send her some money to last her through the week, and she promised she was going to pay back. I was so confused by that, because we had split our joint savings, so she had money. She didn't explain what happened to that money, so I know she must have blown it on something stupid, likely as a means to make herself feel better after the divorce. She didn't mention that. The only thing that she told me was that she had paid the mortgage and now she was low on cash. I mentioned the money we had split, but she said a lot without giving an actual answer. I laughed, and I could tell that she was really mad on the other end of the line. I told her that I wasn't the person to help her. She could sell the house to get a bunch of extra money in her pocket, plus she wouldn't need to worry about the mortgage. However, I made it clear that besides alimony, she wasn't going to get a dime from me. She is a grown woman who can take care of herself. Her ego was bruised. She started calling me names to make herself feel better, and I just laughed all through it. In the end, she hung up on me. I don't have much else to say to her. She knows how I feel about her, and I hope she holds on to that for the rest of her life. If I ever learn about her partners in the future, I'll be sure to do the altruistic deed of letting them know their woman cheats. That'll be my public service for them. For me, all that's left is to live my life and try and fight past the damage she's caused. Oof. The taking pictures for you line? If you're going to cheat, at least commit to the bit. Don't stand there butt naked on FaceTime and tell your husband, maybe when I dropped the phone, I teleported onto another app. Ma'am, even the phone was trying to jump ship. It flew out of her hand like, I am not participating in this disaster. And the best part? She cheated less than 20 times. Oh, good, under 20. Did she want a slow clap or something? Then she acts shocked when you kick her out. OP, how? How do cheaters pull off that wide-eyed, what? Me? No act after they've literally constructed the entire scenario themselves? It's one thing to lie. It's another to act genuinely flabbergasted that reality has finally caught up. The audacity to be shocked, flustered, and hurt when she engineered the entire mess herself is astounding. Have you ever caught your partner red-handed like this? Share your stories with us in the comments. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.